Welcome to the podcast. How you doing?
Good, David. How are you doing?
I'm doing well.
Great.
How many 5-star reviews do you have?
I've got 252 5-stars on Facebook, 536 so far, with an overall rating of 5 stars. Yay!
How did you get so many though?
One is I'm not doing it all by myself. That's really important because you need to make sure that you're outsourcing to all these pretty younger versions of yourself and making sure that they're really confident and fun as well, and that they're good quality. So you go through a lot of frogs to kiss a prince. That's what you get to do. When you go and talk to the people on seek.com and you say, I want to find all these people, you'll probably get about 170 people wanting to apply. Of those people, you end up getting about 20 reply back to you when you say, congratulations, you've been shortlisted. And honestly, I pretty much say you've been shortlisted to almost 150 of them, and to say, yeah, you've been shortlisted, because that really takes the wheat from the chaff. And and those people who really want to apply, they'll have to send in their photo and say some bits about themselves, like why they want to be part of the superheroes. And then of those people, only a third or a quarter are actually worth giving a phone call to, because they'll send in photos like this. Or photos with the phone in front of their face, and you just think, oh my goodness, you're not all there. So then you get to chat to the other people, and they either speak like this: hello, yes, I really want to be a princess. So you end up getting down and down and down. Honestly, it's like sales. It's about 2%. Out of 170 people, you probably get about 2 people out of that, which are going to be worth training up and trying to go out. It's hard going trying to find the right people. You have to get the correct A-team to sort of inspire themselves and push it along. And I really work hard at trying to get the A-team. So yeah, that's how I get it. We sort of filter the reviews as well. So most of the time it's actually, we just don't gel with the children in one job, for example. And it's the same show, but the children just hate you and you don't even know why. You're like, I tried to do my best. And what we do with that one is, when that happens, we just don't remind the client that we've got a review system. We're like, just ignore that one, just ignore it. We really work hard at every single party, but you're never going to get 100%. But you don't want to remind them of it when you're stuck in traffic. So yeah, we try to vet our clients as well. So when they say, we want Batman for our 2-year-old's birthday party, we say we can't do Batman for a 2-year-old's birthday party, because it's going to be one of those sort of shows where all the kids are running off screaming that you've got a 6'2" superhero dressed in black going, where are you kids? Where's Batman? So yeah. I've got stories where I put my foot in it so badly. There was a party once when I was doing the hokey cokey, which in Australia they call the hokey pokey. And you go in, oh, hokey pokey. And I was like, grab his hand, because this kid was like, not. And she was like, he hasn't got a hand. And then the little kid looked up and he's like, I'm like, oh! Or another one where a party where there was the lady with, it was like a hearing thing. And you get, the traditional coin behind the ear. And I went to put my hand behind this girl's ear, and she had no ear. She literally had a hole. What do you do? What do you do? Oh, the other day, I said to this boy who was just being very loud, you can't do real magic. And 8-year-olds are always like that. And you've got to sort of rebuttal them back. And I was like, hey, Jesse, where's your mum? And he was at the back. He went, she's dead. She's dead? Because I didn't expect him to say it. And I'm repeating back in my microphone, she's dead? Yeah. And then everybody else around the audience is like, oh. So, it was just awful. Yeah. So there's loads of them. It's the kids that I love, and I've always been into puppets and kids shows, and just mainly the children, because kids, when they're excited, the energy that comes off of them, that they love you already and they love this tiny little puppet, that's what I love about it. It's an innocent, pure joy. I don't think you can get that from adults, because adults, they've had a run of life and now they're usually a little bit more reserved. So if you do something even amazing, they're like, wow, that's amazing. But they're not doing this. Oh, you don't hear that shaking, excited energy. So yeah, I love that bit. That's the best bit. Gary Vaynerchuk says is you've got to do what is good for you. Don't look at other people and think, oh, I should be doing that. It might not even be for you. That's why I still love doing the magic shows.
Would you rather doing that or the business side of it?
That. I would rather be doing that, but I want money. Money. I was just reading The Compound Effect, and it says in there, try not to win just in one part of your life, financially or health-wise, because you're going to lose on the other parts. You've got to make sure that you have a successful balance. So I used to work Saturdays and Sundays when my kids were babies, because they really didn't care if I was there or not. They don't even know who's putting the bottle in their mouth. I love doing the magic shows, but I also want to be a good mum. I'd never want my children to say you were never there for us on the weekend. So pubs, the most money, but also the one with the least amount of effort, and that is pubs. So for example, nobody's there looking at you with their money that they've worked hard with as a mum at $35, $40 an hour, and then they're handing it over to you, and it's worth 10 hours of their time, and they're sitting there hoping that Johnny gets a good deal. That is valuable money. What's not valuable money is a pub that's got a budget from some head office that they just want to pay it just to try and entice people in. You do a great job, but nobody's there to sort of breathe down your neck or looking at you is it worth the $400? And they've got such a big budget that, one Sunday afternoon, they'll book in $750 worth of stuff. But you're going to get tight asses, and I am a tight ass, but we're just born like that, and there's no way. So all you've got to do is make sure, one, you don't hit the middle. So the middle of the road, you're going to get other people who are also tight. I don't think tight's a bad thing to be. It's just they work hard at trying to get the cheapest thing. Then you've got the people that just don't care. Go for those people. And the best way to do it is not to be too cheap, because with cheap, you have to look after your money. And that's why you've got to make sure that you go with the people that have the money, because if you don't, if you work with people that have not the money, you're continuously going to be running around on a rabbit wheel, trying to get, little hamster wheel, trying to scrape that money off of them, where these ones are giving it away. So you might as well just go with these ones. Steph, you have got to charge per child for vacation care. I started doing it about 2 years ago. I thought, I'm just going to try it. And so I put $12 a child, discounted from 18, and then minimum price $550 per show. And you get $1,300 for 45 minutes. Now you do that. You train someone else to go and do that show for you, and then you got your money. It was great. That's what I do. Try and aim for the clients.
How do you make sure they don't just go out and do it themselves?
They do. There has been a girl just recently start up her own website with my Google reviews in it. My Google reviews, because it's got her name on it, she's taken them and put them on there, not realising that it's not just her in this whole machine of business. She's just like, oh yeah. So I'm screaming at her, ah, take them off. When that happens, it doesn't happen very long. So I've had it about 3 times in the space of 15 years, but what they don't understand, it's not about the show. As you and I know, David, it's about the business, and it's about the marketing, and it's about the contacts. So they will be there with their one-page landing page, nowhere to be seen on Google, no way to know how to do advertising, and they will sit there and probably get one show every 2 weeks, and then wish that they hadn't screwed me in the back and come back. Yeah. Please, can I have another job because I'm running out? They'll not say that, but I know that they're thinking it usually. You really have to be making that churn. It's about the churn, isn't it, David? You're going to have some people who remember you and then forget who you are. I don't know if you do your own pest control, but I have had the same pest control man for about 4 years, and I can't remember his name. Am I going to go find his name? I was going to Google pest control and find the next person who comes along, because they're interchangeable. And unless he's messaging me saying, hey Steph, time of year again, and making it easier for me, then I'm not going to be sort of contacting him because I can't even remember his name. It's easier just to find somebody else. And that's what happens nowadays with Google. They won't be clawing around trying to find that fairy. They'll just go online and find another fairy. Don't you think? It's hard because you might do an amazing job, but sometimes they just forget about you. And that's where marketing comes in.
What do you do on the back end to try and make sure they keep seeing you?
So I could do a couple of things. So advertise, I'm a Google AdWords person. That's my main thing. I like that over Facebook. Reason why is because they're an active searcher. So when you're on Facebook and Facebook works with algorithms. Like this time last year, you had a birthday party. It will feed that in and you will get some sort of birthday party thing coming up for this year. And that's how usually Facebook works. Google works with active searchers. So birthday party, entertainers, and it'll pop up. So I'm a bit like that. So I will go on to Google AdWords, make sure that I'm feeding, it's about $121 a day I'm feeding Google AdWords, likes my money. And of that, I get a very high sort of cost per conversion at the moment. It's about $14, which is pretty good for a $350 sort of, on average show. So it's a good return on investment. So it's really marketing for that. On top of that, I have a retargeting, which means it's only people who can see it, who've been to my website before, who can actually see, or been to the Facebook page, that sort of stuff.
After the show, do you hand them something?
These are my cards. Now, I've got this one here. It says, so we give these out, it says, I'm a super party hero. And I say, oh look, it's got my website on the side. How did that get there? That's weird. And then I say, these magnets are only for people who've got fridges at home. Who's got a fridge at home? If you have, put your hand up. And they put their hands up. You say, okay, now I need you to take the finger, the one that you pick your nose with. Which one is that? And they'll go like this, because kids are kids and they'll do exactly what you do. Oh, lovely. Now you need to point to it every single day for 1 year. And do you know what will magically happen, children? I magically turn up at your birthday parties. Yeah, so I use ClickFunnels, which is a fortune, as you know as well. But it's got the automation on it, so every time someone will fill out the form, it has, I put an email saying, thank you so much, we'll get in contact with you. In the meantime, I'm going to send you a free big bundle of party packs with invitations and all this sort of stuff in it, and some top tips, only for 5 days. So you won't hear from us after 5 days. And I do that because nobody wants to be messaged every 2 weeks. I know people say that they do, but I think that's more for people who love you as a person, like if you're doing like your podcast and they're following you. When they're just looking for a kids entertainer and then the birthday's gone, that's it. They don't want to hear from you again. It's not like you're teaching them how to save their marriage. Anyway, so I say 1 to 5 days, and then at the end of that, I've got a 365-day wait, late, and then I do that whole thing of cheese and crackers. Is it that time of year again? Don't forget us. And then that goes on for about 3 years, just down there. I get my virtual assistant, Jolo, to recall everybody for the last 4 years. So if they were 3 years old, which we do, we physically call them, and if we miss them, we send them an email saying, hello, you had us on this thing, would you like to come again for this year? Basically, you just go to the people who have already bought. It's just that whole Dan Kennedy thing where if they bought from you before, they are much more likely to buy from you again. And they're sitting there, you've got their phone numbers, you've got the contact numbers, you've got the relationship with them. Why would you not do that? And we didn't, because we're too busy. And it's all about trying to find people to not make you busy, because it needs to be done. Alex Hormozy says, you know what you have to do. You know, when you and I, David, were going into that course, we already knew most of it. We've looked at books before. It's the action that does it, because reading books and then not doing anything about it is just entertainment. You've got to action on it, but it's hard. And that's why I think people just end up not getting the work, because they don't want to put in the hours and the awkwardness of doing all of this. You bet your bottom dollar that you need a coach. It's so important to get a coach that knows what you're doing, because you can read books about it, you can do the Google AdWords free certificate, which I've done before, but everything moves so fast. Google's always changing. It's got Performance Max, it's got all these different stuff on display nowadays that you will not keep up unless you're talking to somebody who's doing it 9 to 5, Monday to Friday. And you can't do it 9 to 5, Monday to Friday, because you're doing all these other bits, you know. So yeah, definitely get a coach. That's what I'd recommend for that. It's so important for the money that's going down the drain for advertising. So yeah. He said you have to know what you're doing, and I've been there where I worked with a company in Brisbane, which I told my friend don't go near them because they woo you with all this stuff like, oh, we're going to get your SEO really good, and also, but it's basically selling. They don't do squat, because I was paying them a discounted thing of $80 a week. The lady kept not doing anything, and I'd be like, hey, why have I not had any changes this week? Oh, I've been sick. I was like, yeah, but this is a company. You should be having somebody else doing your work. I'm not doing, well, I've been sick, okay, and I can't. I'm just thinking, what the hell? And then because you can go into Google Ads and you can go to history, you know, tools, history, and see what changes. Do you know how many changes I was getting for $80? $80 that could be in my advertising budget. Do you know how many? 4 changes. 2 pauses and a couple of changes. That was it, which would have taken probably about 2.5 minutes. And that was what they were charging me. So you need to know that you're going to get ripped off if you go to a company, if you don't know the basics of even know how to check what they're doing. And they won't tell you. I know that my friend asked, what have you actually done for my SEO? And they said, oh, well, we can't tell you because, you know, it's our top secret sauce. Yeah, magic sauce, you know, with the snake oil. It's just like, there's a load of charlatans out there in the advertising world. My big goal is to make sure that my children have a wonderful life. Oh, tears. And that means that I can show them what I've learnt, correct or not. So if I haven't made it, or made it is one of those weird words, you make it. Yeah. But if I haven't succeeded into like owning a multi-million-dollar home and etc., it won't matter, because what I'm doing is trying to find the steps along the way that I can say to my children, hey, just start doing what you need to do, because it's all about the marketing side. And I'm trying to beat my children, because we are all in the computer and the AI world. I want to make sure that I'm above them so I can feed down to them what I know. And that's my main thing. I want to set them up for life. That's my main goal. I think now I'm going through perimenopause, which is basically we get angry very quickly, and I have to try and control that. That's the hard bit, is trying to do your business on top of your own personal problems, and not making your personal problems a reason to not do your business. You know, you have to keep them separate in a way. And also to have your business, which is your baby, not override your other babies. So I try and be as aware as possible not to make my business the forefront, because this whole thing of like money and business, it's just a facade, it's just a joke. The real love and the real money is in relationships that you grow in your own family, in your own friendships.
Where can people find you?
They can find me on supersteph.com. I'm on there, so just fill out a form. And paydayparties.com, where I teach other people around the world to do what I do. And again, I teach them the performing side, but I also teach them the business side, because in the word show business, you've got show and then you've got business. Show's a third and business is a 2/3 of that whole phrase. And that's how much you should be putting in to your business. Is business side is the 2/3, which I'll be teaching you, and the show is the 1 side, which I'll also be teaching you. And then also we've got my personal page, stephanie-lee-harper.com. So that's it.
Yeah, apart from that, thank you for joining.
Thank you, David, and I will see you again soon.